Hey guys, welcome back from Texas. I hope you guys found some time to laugh since we saw you last. Hope you found some time to take care of yourself. Today we're going to talk about focus on what matters to you. We're going to start with Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. This applies to all of our kids. It applies to all of our children, not just neurotypical children. It also applies to our children with special needs.
So I love that verse when it applies to all kids and to parents, but especially to our kids, because to me it tells us of God's promise that He has a plan for our kids. And that whether it's Justin, our typically developing child, or Haley, our child with special needs, He has a plan for them. And our job as parents is just to help them along their path. And so that when they are old, we will see them doing what God has for them to do. That's just a great encouragement to me. So how do we get there? Well, we start with a couple of things that we like to call goals or priorities, and then values, those things that are really important to us. So I want to start to this session with a question of, do you have goals or a vision or a dream or an expectation for your child in the future? And when our kids are young, we understand that we probably don't have a clear picture of what that looks like. Karen and I didn't when Justin and Haley were young. We didn't know what they had in store for them or all that their future would hold. But this is not about, this conversation, not about what they are going to do. This is about who we want them to be. And we bet that you can answer this question. You just may not have ever written these things down. So in this lesson, we want you to do some work on your values and your priorities. How do you want them to live their life? And these things are things that should be true for all of our children. And sometimes when we start to have the conversation around values, people get a little puzzled look and they wonder, what are they talking about? What does this mean? Well, when I'm talking about values, they are those things that are in your gut that are just non-negotiable for you. So here are the things that are the values that are non-negotiable for the Thompson family. They're things like work ethic, respect, honesty, faithfulness, and being family-centered, that family is a priority. And we can talk about those values. What does it mean to have a great work ethic? Well, in our family, what it means is you don't have to be good at something, but you can't be lazy. Faith means being involved with growing in your spirit and growing in your walk with the Lord. Respect means to treat people the way Jesus would have us treat them. And as we start to flesh those things out, we start to understand these are the values that no matter where our kids are intellectually, physically, developmentally, whatever way we want to look, we want all of our children to hold these values. And so I want you to give thought to that as we do your homework later in the session.
So, as we talk about values, one of our core values is serving. We tried to instill this early on in our children's lives, both Justin and Haley. We wanted to give them the opportunity to see beyond their culture. We wanted them to have the opportunity to go and give without expecting to get back. You know, Jesus said, "I came not to be served, but to serve." There's nothing more fulfilling than serving someone else. Now, I know as a church that you guys have a weekend every year where you actually do the Servolution Day. And that is awesome and it's amazing. And you go and you wear your red shirts and you just go serve your community. My question is, when you go do that, Couple of questions. Do you take your child with special needs? And beyond that weekend, do you continue to serve? Once again, this is a value for us. It may not be one for you, but it is for us. All right. When we teach our children with special needs how to serve, it is so encouraging for the community to see those kids out there serving them. It's very humbling. I mean, you want to talk about seeing Jesus showing up. It's when you allow those children with special needs to go and serve someone else. There's always an ability, no matter what their challenges are, there's a way for them to give, even if it's just a smile. And that's how Jesus shows up, right? When you take your child to serve, I think you would be amazed at the hearts that will actually be changed when you get your child, if you got your child out there to serve others. We have an opportunity. So we have a Wednesday night class. I think we've probably maybe talked about this. We have a Wednesday night class with about, at this point, 140 adults with special needs. One thing we realize is that our kids don't always have an opportunity to serve. Well, in our community, we have what's called Snack Pack for Kids. And this is where we, as a community, will pack grocery bags of food to send home with children who have food scarcity. And so it's given to them every week, and it's given to them through the school system. But there is a snack pack for kids that we go, so individuals have to go and volunteer to pack these sacks. Our Wednesday night class, and not everyone, there's several of them that are involved in it, along with some elderly people, individuals in our church, go at least twice a month, and we pack these bags. And we pack probably about 1,300 in about an hour and a half. And it is so fulfilling for our kids, especially our kids with special needs, our adults with special needs, to be able to give back to the community. And they know that this food goes and it helps a family get through the weekend and not go hungry. And that means they're changing people's hearts. And they're showing up and they're showing Jesus to other people.
So as Karen talked about serving, and I mentioned the other values that we try to live by, do we do it perfectly? Of course not. But they're the things that motivate the decisions that we make. And it's these values that shape our priorities. And our priorities are the way we spend our time and the people that we spend our time with. We want to be around and have our kids around people who share our values and who are willing to share life not only with us, but with them. It's the way we build our team. They are the people that we go to church with. They're the people that our kids go to school with and their parents. It's the teachers, coaches, if you have them, who take that extra interest in your kids and in our families. Of course, it can be your small group members. But this is where we spend our time, because these are the things that reflect our values, and that's what fills us. So in your homework here in a minute, we're going to take a look at your routine to see how your values and priorities are reflected.
Yeah, and also in there, you're also going to have a list of values, so it'll be a little bit easier. Sometimes it's a challenge to really kind of figure out what values are most important to you. So you'll have a list in your handout. The last thing we want to leave for you is I want to give you just a word of encouragement, and that is to go beyond your families who have children with special needs. Find a community that goes beyond them. When you only rely on your families, other families that have children with special needs, number one, let's go back to when the thing about it is with our families with special needs, they actually get it. So I understand the safety in that. I understand the comfort in that. But also, when we need to build our community, when we need to start building the people that help strengthen us, There are lots of people out there that want to walk with us, and they don't have a child with special needs. And the interesting thing about that is they're not going to be as tired, they're not going to be as worn out because they don't have a child with special needs. If we only rely on these families that we know, then they're not going to be able to be there for us because they're exhausted too. So we want to encourage you to do that. Our kids, our adults, our children with special needs, they need to become part of a community that's actually outside of just the special needs community. Both are important. Brad and I have community inside the special needs, and we have community outside of the special needs. And those are the ones, if once we get outside the individuals with special needs and build our community around that, then that's the way they show Jesus. That's how they're going to show Jesus to the world, when we allow them to be out there. And like Brad said, our values and priorities are going to allow us to be able to do that. So we encourage you to strongly create community inside and outside, because that is when hearts are changed, is when we actually can get our children out there to be a part of the other community.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, life with Haley has just taught us that there are a lot of people who have a heart for our kids and our families if we'll just take the opportunity to get out there. So here's the work we want you to do, and you can share it in your group. What truly matters to you as an individual and as a family? So we look forward to seeing what happens with this work that you do, and we'll see you again next time.
All right, see you guys.